INTI is the NMI of Argentina. It has an experience in legal metrology of 17 years, developing several aspects in this field. During these years where the legal metrology evolved in the country, the growth was possible because of the following aspects, which we believe essential to get stronger and make efficient the national metrological control: technical stringency, research development, efficient information documentation management before and after metrological controls. My name is Evangelina Capo, and I will explain you the project that is being developed in our NMI under the coordination of our director, Leandro García, which seeks to digitalize the inputs and outputs of metrological control process in Argentina by the service of application according to metrological law frame. To understand the implications of the project, it is necessary to know the evolution of legal metrology in Argentina, and that is why we will review the last 17 years. In 2003, the National Executive Branch transferred the functions of metrological control to INTI. An approximate of 5,000 verifications were carried out annually, resulting in the emission of about 1,500 certificates and 1,000 production orders and invoices. With the increase of metrological controls developed by INTI annually, we had to create two systems for the management of subsequent verifications in fuel pumps and scales. Those controls were about 90% of legal metrology activity. These systems aim at loading the verification request by the user, selecting the instrument to be verified, recording the result of verification, the verification seals or seal place, and the certificate of verification. At the end of 2012 and early 2013, 9 metrological and technical regulations, including evidential breath analyzers, utility meters, among others, were adopted, boasting a noticeable increase in daily work. Because of that, a metrological control system that brings together all the services and all regulated measuring instruments in the country is beginning to be planned. Last year, new actors were included in metrological control system: accredited test laboratories and measurement instrument repair services. The annual verification amount was 60,000. About 2.5 million was invoiced, and 13,000 certificates and 9,000 production orders and invoices issued annually. If we would like to detail the reasons that led us to develop SICOMET, the metrological control system, we have to mention the increase in services offered by the NMI, the need to strengthen internal control remotely. Today, there are 120 field verifiers and 20 engineers for type approvals. Control over those actors outside the NMI remotely for repairs, type approval, and initial verification. The need to standardize the test protocols used by all the actors. Optimizing certificate issuance time and certificate availability. The need for a database of installed instruments. In short, the optimization of national metrological control system, seeking its efficiency to enhance the benefits of legal metrology in society. We set the objective of digitalizing the metrological controls developed in Argentina for conformity assessment through a reliable cloud system that allows access and interaction with the stakeholders, as well as the visibility of tasks and their impact. The system will seek to cover all metrological services developed in Argentina, produced by all the actors that are part of the service of application of the law of metrology. The controls performed in Argentina within the mandatory scope are type approval, limited effect type approval, initial verification, declaration of conformity, subsequent verification, post-repair verification, and use and market surveillance. These controls are carried out by INTI, the Secretary of Commerce, public or private testing laboratories accredited by the Argentine accreditation body supervised by INTI and the Secretary of Commerce, manufacturers and importers supervised by INTI and the Secretary of Commerce, as well as repair services supervised by INTI and the Secretary of Commerce. We will seek to manage the implementation of the above controls, allowing interaction with the interest parties, as well as synchronization with the administrative system for the services carried out by INTI. In addition, if a repair or surveillance is given in an instrument that does not have metrological control, it will be included through the use of the system in the database, in order to include it within a payroll of instruments with metrological control by carrying out a surveillance or verification. When discussing the requirements that the system should have, we propose covering 10 services mentioned above the 21 measuring instruments regulated in our country, generating reports or certificates automatically, with the control of the heads of department or director. It must allow for verification or inspection in laboratories or places where the instruments are installed, so it should have the possibility of being used offline. Then, at the time of retrieving the signal, it must synchronize with the information. It must have a database of seals or seals to be used by verifiers, repair services, and manufacturers, validating the correct allocation before use. It will allow the reading of barcodes or QR codes included in the seals. It will have, depending on the type approvals previously done, a database with the place of placement and the type of seals to be used, so that the different actors of the metrological control place the seals in the appropriate places. At the time of type approval, the criticality of the seals placed shall be assessed. If a breakage of a seal presupposes an adjustment of the instrument, a new verification after repair shall be mandatory at the time of an intervention of that seal. It will synchronize with the Enterprise Resource Planning (PRESEA) used by INTI, so that invoices are incorporated and payments are reviewed. This will allow the user to view the certificates or reports after payment is verified. It will also synchronize with the integrated system of congratulation, numbering, monitoring of the actions of the National Public Sector (GDE), allowing the use of digital signatures or digital signatures with token, which they stand there, of all the actors both in the public and the private sector. It must allow the configuration of a specific test sheets for each module and control. It will have alarms and statics necessary for the supervision of internal and external personnel, as well as the planning of activities. It will be able to calculate the time used by the inspector or repair service, observing deviation from the average time. It will require to add a photograph at the time of ending any specific test as method of knowing whether the media is moved to the instrument installation place. For example, 25 tons of weights for verification of a distance scale and about 1,500 kilometers from the repair service workshop. The tablets used by the verification agents will be georeferences and will record the start and the end of the verification activity automatically. In all services, it will be able to interact with the user so that the user knows the status of the process. The system is being developed by a national supplier and with a significant delay according to our estimates. However, at the moment, 4 modules are completed and have satisfactory tests. 3 modules are close to completion and 5 modules are in the first phase. The idea is to implement the system once all the modules are complete, as it is necessary to complement them for a good work. The implementation of SICOMET will help to optimize the global process of meteorological control in Argentina, allowing to strengthen services and optimize the use of the resources of the national state. It will facilitate the definition of control policies in areas where instruments without meteorological controls are located, based on objective and georeferenceable data. Notice that our country is very extensive and certain instruments are outside the visual reach of our technicians, who circulate in different areas. It will allow to calculate the impact of the action of legal metrology online. For example, a trend of fuel pump bias in a given province. It will increase current meteorological control coverage, having data from instruments outside the metrology control or recently installed under a declaration of conformity, allowing automatic communication to instrument user of the need for verification or the next expire of the current verification. It will have the traceability of the legal supporting documentation of each instrument, as well as the technical documentation necessary for a correct verification. This technical documentation is evaluated during the type approval, adjustment method, calibration, and sealing form, and will be visible to the verification agents. It will be a consultation platform for other state control agencies, customs, provincial directorates of commerce, and for society in general. For example, the producer will know in georeference form what is the verified scale to market its grain load, or the citizen who is that scale verified to buy his fruits and vegetables, resulting in the visibility of the NMI's daily action, seeking transparency and fairness in commercial transactions, consumer protection, and citizen care. Now we propose some questions for the forthcoming SIM working group discussion. In our countries, meteorological controls of similar characteristics and on the same measuring instruments are developed. Optimizing meteorological control system is a goal to which we all aspire. Could we then think of a SICOMET or similar regional adapted to our language and testing protocols? And what about bringing them to the European Metrology Cloud? Information of a breakage time of seals or instruments verification seals can make us think about the possibility of determining variable verification periods, according to the stability of the equipment errors or the seal breakage alarms. Do you think this is possible? At the end of a slide, you will find email addresses and our website for any questions. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I appreciate your attention. I am available to answer all your questions. Thank you very much.